Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your week. And so it's Motivation Monday, and I think I started out having a little bit of a weird day. So it's really good timing for the Motivation Monday. So welcome all of our replay users. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And hello to our live members today. Hi, ladies. I see a couple of you on there. I won't call you out until you make a comment. So, do you ever just feel like it's never going to end? Like all of the stuff you have going on in your life is never going to end. You're too busy, you're overwhelmed, you're anxious, it's just too much. Well, of course you do, right? Or I wouldn't ask the question. It's one of those things. Good morning, Eden. Hi, Laura. It's nice to see you, ladies. It's always good to see you both. So I have to assume, based on actually knowing both of you ladies, that occasionally it's just wow, right? There's just so much and so many things going on and so much stress. So the first thing I wanted everyone to think about was this really great quote that I read out of a book by Dr. Wayne Dyer, D-Y-E-R. It's called Change Your Thoughts and Change Your Life. But it wasn't this particular quote's not hokey pokey in case you're a little worried, but it says, nature doesn't create a storm that never ends. And I really liked that reframing of chaos or turbulence or change or scary stuff happening in our life. When I lost my job a couple years ago, that happened. It wasn't great, but it moved on, right? It stopped happening. And when we got a diagnosis, the beginning of the diagnosis for Zoe was really difficult, but we moved on. And so nature doesn't let the storm stay forever, right? So you can get past it. But in the middle of it, it's really hard to change the way you've always behaved. And so that's what I really wanted to talk a little bit today on Motivation Monday about, was changing the way you normally behave in a situation that's overwhelming. And so how do you do that? Well, there's actually three, that's kind of an odd sunshiny thing. There's three components to a habit or a behavior or a repeated behavior. The first is a cue, which is being the thing that triggers the repeated behavior. For me, say I sit down at my desk and on my right-hand side of me, I always have next to my desk TikToks, right? I don't know. I do know why. I'm about to tell you why. So this is right next to me here, and this is my cue, right? Every time I get a little sleepy, I'm just like, oh, I'll just pop a TikTok because somehow it's going to help. And it does, because it's just my cue to stop. So the first is a cue. The second in the middle of a habit is the routine. It's the thing that you repeatedly do, the way you repeatedly behave. And then the third thing is the reward you give yourself. Now for me, I'm a little sleepy, right? I get a Tic Tac, right? This is my behavior, and then I take the Tic Tac, and it tastes good. So hey, and I get a little sugar rush. Ooh, great. So when you're in the middle of chaos, which for some of us is all of the time, or if you're a parent, it's all of the time, or if you're a caregiver, it's all of the time. Sometimes we react the way we always react. So an example would be, and yesterday was a really difficult one for me. Zoe will poop. Well, we all know, because the cue is here, right? I sniff a little sniff, and I'm like, oh, great. Get to clean up a poop collage. That sounds like fun. And my head goes into all kinds of crazy places. And then the routine happens, which is to clean her up, blah, blah, blah. And my reward in this case, which sounds very weird, but is like, because I get to be mad about it. Oh, I'm mad. But I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to feel overwhelmed. I don't want to be mad at my daughter for something that she can't do. So how do I habit hack that feeling? So the first is you need to identify your cue, and then when you identify that cue and the reward, those things have to stay the same. It's really weird. So you have to say, I always want to have a Tic Tac, and I always feel good about tasting it. But you can habit hack it by changing the thing in the middle. So I want you to think about, real quickly, the one thing that sets you off like banana pants. It might be a husband who watches the Vikings and yells and drinks and screams at the television. It might be your wife who always wants to watch football and doesn't want to have a conversation with you, or steals your favorite stitch off your bed. It might be one of your boys who are running around like crazy and making you nuts, and then immediately you crack into your normal action. Think of that moment, right? And then I want you to think about doing anything different in that morning, in the middle of that routine. So here are two things I'm going to help you out with today. One is there's two ways that you can breathe, right? You can breathe your upper chest. I'm looking because I can't say the word right. It's thoracic, and your bottom is your diaphragmatic, right? So you breathe when you're anxious. You breathe really high in your chest, and it's like, and that's thoracic breathing. And when you're calming, or when you're breathing naturally, you're breathing diaphragmatically. So there's one technique called natural breathing, which we should be doing all of the time. But just stop for a moment, close your eyes, breathe in through your nose, and out through your mouth. No holding breath, no special count, none of that. Just breathe in deeply, and feel it in your diaphragm. And you'll know, because you'll feel your chest kind of lift, you'll feel your belly kind of expand when you breathe out. That's enough to at least change the way you would have normally behaved. It's just enough to kick it. It might be all the time you actually have to. So that one's called natural breathing, and that's just kind of a reset motion. Now, for those of you who may have anxieties or be extra wound or extra angry, like sometimes poop makes me really frustrated, the other kind is called calming breathing, and it's not much different than natural breathing except for when you breathe in, you hold it. And try to hold it for like 2 to 3 seconds. If you have not great lung capacity, maybe less. But the whole act of holding the breath and then pushing that breath out has some physiological implications. And it also, when you're thinking about it, start trying to think about the things you want to relax. So if you're breathing in, counting to 3, I want to relax my fingers, I want to relax my toes, breathe out. And do that until you don't want to punch somebody in the head, right? If all those things don't work for you, that's great. Go grab a beer. No, I'm kidding. Well, not really. Hey, that works too. So I know sometimes it feels like it's never going to end, but as I said before, like the storms always stop, right? It doesn't rain forever. There isn't another flood. And sometimes you just need to hack a habit, which hopefully we'll be talking about a lot more. Find your cue, find your reward, maintain them, and just pop something different in there in the middle. You can do the breathing technique that I talked about now, or we could do something again later. But hopefully that helps. The video ran long. I'll talk to you guys all soon, tomorrow on Tech Tuesday. And it's nice to see you all. Hi, Laura. Hi, Becky. Hi, Laura. There's 2 Lauras on there, Lora, Leura. And hi, Eden. It's nice to see you guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.